Hey there, good people. My name is Scott, and you're watching Sword and Shield Studio. Right now, we are going to learn how to use Smart Reframe in DaVinci Resolve 17 Studio, which will allow you to automatically crop your footage for different social media platforms and different aspect ratios in general. Now, this is a studio-only feature in DaVinci Resolve 17, so if you have the free version, you can still manually crop and transform your footage to achieve a similar effect. With that in mind, let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm here on the edit page in DaVinci Resolve where I have a timeline with a clip that I want to reframe vertically for phone screens. First thing you'll need to do is duplicate the timeline in order to do this. So right-click the timeline that you have in your media pool and hit Duplicate Timeline from the drop-down menu. Then you can left-click this new timeline and hit F2 to rename it to whatever you'd like. I'm just going to title this Phone Screen for the phone screen format that I'm creating. Then right-click that new timeline. Go to Timelines from the drop-down menu and hit Timeline Settings from the menu that pops out from that. Then in this Timeline Settings menu, uncheck Use Project Settings so you could set your own custom settings for this timeline. And in my case, I'm just going to swap these two values of the 1080p resolution to make it a vertical frame. So I'm going to type 1080 and 1920. Create yours whatever you like, depending on what format you need to create. And then under where it says mismatched resolution, set this to scale full frame with crop, which will fit the footage that you have to the new frame size. And I'll give you a good start to work with. Then hit OK. And double click in the media pool, this new timeline to open it up. And then I'm going to close my media pool. You see we got a vertical screen here, but the skater goes out of the frame at times because he's not completely centered. And for this new format, we'd really like him to be centered. So in order to do a smart reframe, go up to the inspector, open it, left click to open it up. And under the transform section, there should be a smart reframe section if you are in the studio version of Resolve. And you just left click to expand that menu. And by default, the object of interest is set to auto. So let's try that first and hit reframe. And Resolve will automatically analyze this clip for the object of interest and reframe it to this new timeline format. Let's see how that looks. That's looking a lot better. The skater is pretty well centered in the frame at all times. He doesn't trail off to the left or the right as much as he did before, which is what we were looking for. Now, if the auto setting for object of interest did not work well for you, you can try to set this to the reference point option and hit the box crosshair icon to the right of that reference point, which will create a reference point in your viewer. You could transform with the corners the size of this reference point, and you can move it with the center box here to define the area that Resolve's AI will be looking for when it reframes the footage. And then left click reframe again. Of course, the auto setting worked in our case, but it's always good to have another option. If we play this back, see how it worked out pretty well. Now, if neither of these options works well for your footage, then you will have to fall back to using the manual zoom and position controls in your inspector under transform, which can give you a similar effect if the AI is unable to determine the object of interest. Well, that does it for this tutorial. Smart Reframe is a handy new tool to come to DaVinci Resolve 17 Studio. If you're having to crop a lot of different clips for different social media platforms, it can save you a lot of time in the long run. I hope after watching this video you feel more confident using this tool. If you do, please consider subscribing to the channel where I upload a video just like this one every week. In addition, Sword and Shield Studio goes live every Sunday night where I'll be answering your questions and working on something fun in Fusion. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.